Once upon a time, in a small village at the foot of a misty mountain, there lived a boy named Renji. He was raised by his grandfather, an old potter who had once been a Buddhist monk before retiring into a quiet life of clay and fire. Day after day, Renji grew up to the sound of temple bells at dawn and the scent of smoke rising from his grandfather's kiln. Every evening before bed, Renji would sit by his grandfather and listen to stories of the Buddha, of enlightenment, of letting go, and of mindful living. But what fascinated him most wasn't the scriptures or the parables. It was the pottery. In his grandfather's hands, lifeless lumps of clay seemed to awaken, molded gently, baked patiently, and transformed into vessels of stunning beauty. One day, when Renji turned 13, he asked his grandfather, "Grandpa, why is it that when you make pottery, it looks like you're meditating?" The old man smiled gently. "Because I don't create the vase. I simply listen and allow it to be born." Renji frowned, confused. He pressed further. "Then how long will it take for me to make vases like yours?" His grandfather gazed at the distant mountains fading into the sunset. "If you truly want to learn, it will take 10 years. Renji grew excited. "But what if I work twice as hard, day and night?" 20 years, the old man replied, calm as still water. Renji was startled. "What if I devote myself completely, with all my heart?" The old man looked him in the eyes and said, "Then 30 years, or maybe even a lifetime." Now Renji was frustrated. How could working harder mean it would take longer? The old man placed a hand on his shoulder and said softly, "In Buddhism, there is something called non-self. If you do things only to prove yourself or to surpass others, the ego will block your path. You cannot walk with one eye fixed on the destination and expect not to stumble. When you're obsessed with the result, you lose sight of the journey. Just like when climbing a tree. If you fixate on the fruit at the top, you're more likely to fall." Then he led Renji to the kiln and pointed at the glowing fire inside. This kiln doesn't just bake clay, it also bakes the human heart. If your heart is impatient, the vase will crack. If your heart is still and present, the vase will bake evenly. Strong, beautiful, and lasting. In that moment, something clicked for Renji. Pottery wasn't just a craft, it was a spiritual journey. Every time he kneaded the clay, he practiced patience. Every time he turned the wheel, he practiced mindfulness. Every time he lit the fire, he observed his own mind. From that day on, Renji stopped asking, "When will I be good enough?" Instead, he woke up early to light the kiln, shaped the clay with care, and listened closely to each form that emerged from his hands. Years passed. Renji eventually became the most renowned potter in the region, but whenever someone asked him for the secret to his success, he would simply smile and say, "I didn't aim for success. I just learned to be fully present with each handful of clay, each breath, each flame." Final message. Don't ask how long it'll take to reach your goal. Ask yourself, am I truly present in my steps today? Because as the Buddha once taught, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path.